Race Weekend is brought to you by Phoenix Fuels.
Make every trip come alive with Phoenix Fuels, now with Pulse technology.
It was the second time that international pro drifters came to the Philippines to compete in a top-level drifting competition. And local drifters came through with top-level performances that did the country proud. Up next, highlights of the 2018 Federal Tires King of Asia Finals and King of Nations Round 4 at the Clark International Speedway.
We're here at the Clark International Speedway for the King of Nations Pro Series Asia as the best drifters from around the globe gather around, eager for the start of the event.
The temperature is searing hot at the Clark International Speedway. Not only because it's almost cloudless, the rays of the sun unobstructed as they bake the asphalt on the racetrack crisscrossed by the evidence that drifters have taken over the circuit. It's the final leg of the 2018 King of Asia, which is also the fourth round of the 2018 King of Nations Pro Series, one of the premier drifting championships in the world. Many of the top pro drifters of the world are in Clark for what is dubbed as the Con PH, to the obvious delight of local drifters and drifting enthusiasts.
Hi David, nice to have you here in our show.
Thank you. I'm glad that you guys came and watched us.
Just for a refresher for the viewers, can you just give us an idea of what the King of Nations is all about?
Well, this event is actually a international event, and this is the second time that they came. Most of the international drivers are well known. That's one thing that we are proud of. From Japan, from China, all good drivers. It's good that they're here joining us, and also we learning from them because, of course, they have the best equipment. So yes, we're glad that they're here now.
What prompted the King of Nations to choose Philippines as their venue for this particular event?
Well, first of all, we have a nice racetrack. I think we have a good racetrack, and us from the international drivers, they were saying we have one of the fastest entry speed. I could say that maybe we are the fastest entry speed. We're going about almost 200 kilometers. We go sideways, so it's pretty much intense, and I think the drifters, international drifters, they like it. That's why we get that attraction, because we have a nice track.
Indeed, the big guns of pro drifting world were in Clark for the King of Asia final. Japan's Daigo Saito was here with his Lexus SC430. Thailand's Keng PTT, King of Asia Series points leader, was here looking to wrap up the KOA title driving his trusty 2JZ KE30 Corolla. Then there's Hong Kong's Charles Nam, also another contender, taking to the track on an S3. Perhaps inspired by competing against the sports idols or benefiting from better familiarity with the home track, local drifters came out strong during qualifying. The locals were led by Luis Gono, who ended Saturday's qualifying in 4th place. Also among notable locals during qualifying was the surprise of the event, teenage drifting whiz Hans Jimenez, who scored the 5th highest points in qualifying. Of course, the top 3 was composed of the big names among visitors. Daigo Sato landed on top. Charles Nang was second. Keng PTT third. The rankings are important as they would be used to determine the head-to-head chase and lead knockout battles on the track on the final day of competition. Under KON and KOA rules, the top 32 qualify for the head-to-head battles. Competitors were judged in qualifying on their attack speed, average speed, angle and line of drift, as well as style or show. But before we move on to the head-to-head battles, what indeed is drifting?
Drifting is a driving technique where the driver intentionally oversteers with loss of traction in the rear wheels or all tires while maintaining control and driving the car through the entirety of a corner. Still need a dictionary?
Sunday's action proved even hotter, the summer heat adding to the heat of the head-to-head battles. Under the rules, number 1 was to face off with number 32. Number 2 was to battle number 31. Number 3 against number 30. You get the drift, right? But as only 20 entries qualified, the luckier entries automatically advance to the next round. For many of the locals, the chance to compete in a top-level international drifting competition against their idols was an accomplishment all in itself.
Really good. Daigo's right there. He's like the top drifter in the world right now. So to be part of the event with him and the other great drifters around, yeah, it's really good.
For some, a stellar performance in both qualifying and in head-to-head battles were dreams come true. Hans Jimenez, who started learning to drift barely a year ago, topped the Friday competition for locals and then showed up some of the veterans in qualifying and in the head-to-head battles. The young Filipino drifter reached what KOA calls the small final, something like a battle for bronze medal between the semi-finalists who didn't make the finals. Jimenez stopped local favorite Luis Gono in what essentially was the quarterfinals, before being mastered by the great Daigo Saito in the semi-final. In the small final, Jimenez lost out to eventual third placer Charles Nang of Hong Kong.
I feel really surprised. This was really unexpected for me, but my dreams have been fulfilled, some of them at least. I'm looking forward to competing again with an even better car.
Daigo Saito waited in the wings as Keng PTT and Charles Nang faced off to see who will join the Japanese in the final. It was a really tight fight as judge scored the first run as a 5-5 draw. But on the second run, with roles reversed, a tiny mistake cost Nang the final slot, with the judges scoring it 6-4 in Keng's favor. In the final, Daigo Saito got a 7-3 advantage in the first run. Keng PTT fought back in the second run, forcing the judges to call for another run. Saito put Keng away with a solid final run to claim the top of the podium in the Philippine leg of the 2018 King of Asia Series. Keng may have lost the battle but has won the war. His second-place finish earned him the points to secure this year's King of Asia Championship crown, and he now looks forward to defend this points lead in the 2018 King of Nations Pro Series.
ก็มองไปถึงญี่ปุ่นนะครับแล้วก็ USA นะครับแต่ว่าจริงๆแล้วเนี่ยเราก็พยายามจะทำในประเทศตัวเองเนี่ยให้ดีที่สุดก่อนแล้วก็อีกเรื่องคือเรื่องการแข่งขันของKing of Nation ในสนามต่อไปก็อาจจะไปร่วมสนุกด้วยครับ
But perhaps the biggest winner at the 2018 KON Philippines was the local drifting community, the enthusiasts and the competitors alike, who expect the event to become a regular fixture of future King of Nations and King of Asia competitions.
Every year we are having it already, I think. So I believe that it's going to happen. And we are preparing already for next year, this year. So I believe that, yes, we will come back stronger. I believe we will all be stronger the next time around.
And that does it for our coverage of the King of Nations Pro Series Asia. As always, be sure to check us out every week as we bring you more highlights of Philippine motorsports.
Even without the best of equipment and cars, local drifters gave international drifting stars a run for their money. And this bodes well for the growth of this exciting motorsport discipline in the Philippines. The country may well be a regular fixture in the Kings of Nation Pro Series and Kings of Asia competition in the coming years.
This week's feature on Race Weekend has been brought to you by Phoenix Fuels.
Make every trip come alive with Phoenix Fuels, now with Pulse technology. These are the Fuel Masters. Every time they're on the court, it's high performance. Every time I'm on the road, I can also expect high performance from Phoenix Fuels. We made it! The next generation Phoenix Fuels, now with Pulse technology, delivers enhanced power and acceleration to make every trip come alive.